I'm looking at the chat and I see there's a question about Manhattan Transfer, which is kind of cool. That is a project that it's a sci-fi series that we're shooting a pilot for soon. And it has a bunch of Star Trek actors like Walter from original series. It has Dominic from Enterprise, Billingsley, Tim Russ is in it.
Tim Russ has to be in it.
Yeah. Casper Van Dien's in it, from Starship Troopers. And Doug Jones is in it. So it's like the huge, amazing like royalty of sci-fi in this series. And then I'm also cast in it. So
that's amazing.
And I'm looking forward to doing it. It looks like we've made the funding. There's a thing up on BackerKit that people can donate to get like they can have appearances, like a walk-on role. They can be on set with us for the day. They get behind the scenes, like pictures and videos. So it's going to be really cool. And the whole premise is the entire city of Manhattan gets abducted by aliens, basically turned into some kind of alien zoo. And so it's all about the city surviving when all hell is broken loose and you're, out in the middle of space and being like, we have like 2 million people here. How do we keep the chaos from taking over? How do we communicate with these aliens? How do we escape? How do we do this? So it's interesting.
I read a James Blish series where basically cities became spaceships, and then they compete for resources or try to. It's not that, but I had a little bit of a flashback of a city in space, and I know it's been done a time or two in different ways. That sounds fantastic.
It's based on a sci-fi novel from the 90s, and it's basically a city zoo. These aliens take cities from alien planets, and so Manhattan is just one of many. So now it's like, can we communicate with these other?
That's gonna be good. And Doug Jones, come on,
yeah, right.
He is sci-fi everything. Just his body of work, his abilities. He blows me away too.
He's incredible. He's incredible. Yeah, I'm excited about that.
A question I did have: how hard is it to build relationships with your co-stars when you're doing voice work? I mean relationship, like working or
right.
Just general.
It depends on the project. There's some projects that I do where I'm working with my friends, and that's great. There was a cartoon I did called oh my god, why am I Mighty Magiswords. It was on Cartoon Network, and that was a very ensemble experience that we recorded all the vocals together in one room, and that was amazing. Being in a room with such talent, and everyone was just, going crazy. I got to record in an episode with Tom Kinney and, Gray DeLiesel, who's insanely talented.
Right.
And the creator of the show, Kyle Carosa, was always there. The great Luke Ski. So these were people that I loved working with, both outside of a booth and inside the booth with comedy music. So I loved that they included me in that show and that I got to do so many episodes. But it is difficult. There are times when like a project will come out and I'll see the cast list and go, I didn't know half the people that I know were in the show, because we all sign NDAs and we don't talk about it. Fire Emblem is a perfect example. Fire Emblem comes out and I'm looking at the credits going like, I know all these people. These are all my friends. How come we haven't talked about this?
We were just out last night and he never mentioned this. Yeah.
Yeah. So you forget what you've been on too, because you'll record something and then 2 years later it comes out, and I'll have people ask me like in a panel, like, what was it like recording, I don't know, Demon Gaze. And I was like, what's that? I'm like, I'm not in that. And then I have to look and I go, oh no, I am. I guess it was fine. I don't remember. I don't even know who I am.
It was very not traumatic.
Yeah, I guess it was just another day in the office. Another day playing a demon. Typical Tuesday.
Before we get on to other future projects where we'll let you go, I had kind of a nerd question, because I've been to a couple cons here and there, various types of sorts. For you, what's the difference between a Star Trek fan and an RPG fan when you meet them at a con?
Oh, wow. There's different fans of different. I would say the biggest difference would be like saying a Star Trek fan versus like an anime fan, because those conventions are very different. The anime conventions and and the Star Trek conventions are very different. I feel like with like the anime and the RPG, the other projects that I've done, when a fan talks to me, it's like they want to talk to my character, and they sometimes have a difficulty of dissociating me with the character and expect me to like talk back in character. And then at the Star Trek conventions, they don't expect me to just sit around like talking like a computer all day, but they see me as, because especially at the Star Trek conventions, a lot of people haven't seen Prodigy. So most people who are there, there's a handful that don't know who I am at all. But then by the end of the convention, they know who I am, because I'm usually moderating panels, hosting panels. I'll do a comedy music show where I sing some of my, Star Trek parodies and some of my original music.
By the end, you've been on Dr. Demento, so
yes, I've been on Dr. Demento.
I grew up with Dr. Demento, and you were on that show. Actually, I sold a Weird Al book on Pawn Stars. That's my connection to Dr. Demento, because I got interviewed later for a Dr. Demento podcast because I sold a Weird Al book on another. It was the most bizarre thing. Like every little bit of detail, like they will find you. Like, what was it like? Did you get to talk to him? Did you?
He's great. I was on there just myself for my solo stuff. But my comedy band, the Library Bards, we've been on there for years. I mean, he started playing our music in like 2016, and we were both so shocked when we got an email from him asking if he could play our music.
Dream come true.
Yes. We were like, first off, our first reaction was, he's still alive, which is not the reaction you would want to hear. So sorry, Dr.
No, I felt the same way when I found out he was doing live streaming.
Yeah, I was like, he's still working. That's amazing.
Amazing. But, I love it.
And shout out to the FUMP community, the Funny Music Project. It's FUMP, FUMP. It's a bunch of amazing comedy musicians, and they're a nice community that really try and keep the love of comedy music alive. So
I'm still that guy. I still love comedy music. I still always sing the wrong lyrics. I still have fun with whatever, because I'm enjoying what I'm enjoying about the quirks of the song or whatever.
Sure.
Comedy music. And again, I started with Dr. D, and would listen every Sunday night with my finger on the pause button, just getting ready to get that song that I wanted.
Oh yeah. I remember with cassettes, like making a mixtape, trying to press record right when a good song came on.
My buddy Paul and I would trade tapes on the bus the next week. Like, I got these ones, you could copy. I got that one, and it was like a card trading game with weird songs. Or
that's awesome.
And he changed. And the other thing, I brought up my wife before. When I met her, she mentioned that she used to listen to Dr. Demento. So I'm like, this is gonna work out.
Yeah, it's like soulmates right then. You knew
Dr. Demento seals
like,
it.
Oh yeah, when you find the one, there it is.
That's the one. 25 years now. Plus 26.
Congratulations.
Long time. Thank you.
You are the relationship guru.
No, I mean, if you ask her, she'll deny that I know anything at all about relationships, but that's her job, because I'm the guy that learned from her. She trained me well, but thank you. Appreciate it. I want to get onto your future stuff. Let's plug what you got going on, what you can talk about, what you don't have NDAs about, what you want to get people interested in. Let's talk. What do you got coming up next?
Well, I mentioned Manhattan Transfer. That'll be coming up. Convention wise, oh geez. I mean,
is there a list?
I'm pulling up the list. Let me go down the dark rabbit hole.
If you're in Pittsburgh, I'm buying you dinner.
Oh, I was just in Pittsburgh. Wait, I will be in Pittsburgh. I will be in Pittsburgh. And it's a comedy music thing. I think you'll like. Okay.
Oh, where?
Okay. Right. I'm in Ohio next weekend for a D&D gaming gig. I'm in Trek, Long Island, May 31st through June 2nd, if any East Coasters are watching. June 27th through the 29th, I'm in Riverside, Iowa for Trek Fest, birthplace of Captain Kirk. Yep. Terry Farrell and I are going to probably cause a lot of chaos, because she and I are the two guests, and we get in a lot of trouble when we're together. July 4th weekend, I'm in San Francisco for BayCon. July 26th through the 28th, I'm in Pittsburgh for Confluence, and I'm their musical guest of honor, and I'll be doing a music concert this Saturday night. August 1st through 4th, I'm at Star Trek Las Vegas, of course. I hope to see all of you there. August 24th through 29th, I'm on a nerdy convention called GakuCon. That's on a cruise ship. So if you want to come and sail the open seas, I just did a Dungeons and Dragons cruise with the same company. Oh, it's amazing. I'm working on the boat, but it's still fun. Like, so I'm working, but I get to enjoy it. Okay. This is a lot. I'm sorry. September 13th through September 13th through the 15th, I'm in Nashville for Star Trek convention, Trek to Nashville. September 27th through the 29th, Star Trek convention in Chicago. November 8th through 10th, Jersey, baby. Star Trek convention in Jersey. Let's go. November 15th through 17th, Star Trek convention in Dallas. These are all Creation Entertainment, by the way.
Okay.
So with Creation Entertainment, they're the big company that does the big Star Trek convention, Star Trek Las Vegas, and they're doing all these regional ones. So yeah, that's 2024 right now. I don't know if I'll have any more coming up. It might be happening. Oh, and then November 29th through December 1st, I think I'm doing Starbase Indy in Indianapolis again. So come spend Thanksgiving weekend with me. Bring me some pie because I will want pie.
And you can find out Bonnie's links down below on the screen here.
Woohoo!
And,
that's my comedy band. That's me. My website has not been updated in a very long time. I would not. The website is.
Ours hasn't either.
Yeah, well, I'm like, you can go to it, and you'll be like, oh look, there she is.
That's the thing.
Yeah, there she is. But yeah, you can find me Instagram, Twitter, or X, whatever the hell they call it. Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, all those things. Just search me. TikTok, Bonnie Bell G. I'm pretty easy to find, and I'm pretty active if you write me or if you.
And it is Bonnie. Just so you know, I think it's important to point out sometimes that's actually you reading the comments and replying to people. It's not.
Yes, I don't have an intern. I don't have an assistant. I can barely afford to eat myself. I can't afford to feed someone else.
But I think because I've run into a lot of times, they're like, well, we'll let them know. I'm like, well, then who are you? It happens. But yeah, but I think plus people get a more personal experience. It's a great way to interact.
Absolutely.
I think it also reminds people to be nice sometimes. Like
you'd be surprised. My DMs get a little mean, but
I don't get the point. I don't get the like. Why?
It's okay. My favorite is when someone writes me a dungeon master, a DM, and asks for a feet pic, and then I send a picture of Frodo Baggins' feet from The Hobbit or from Lord of the Rings, and apologize that I haven't had a pedicure since the pandemic, and then they usually block me or report me. I'm like, look, you wanted a feet pic, you got it.
My wife made the mistake of trying to sell some shoes on Facebook Marketplace, and she got like 5 people. Can I see your feet in them to make sure they're the right size? Like they're out there.
It's weird, yeah.
And I don't want to kink shame, but if it's your kink, don't involve others who aren't
There's
privy to what you're up
for
to.
it. Yeah.
I mean, don't involve
teach his
people
own. I have friends who make their living doing feet pictures and
if people
want
to pay me money for my feet pics, I'm in.
Yeah, I mean,
go to town.
Until then, they're gonna get Hobbit feet.
Hobbit feet.
I'm practically Bonnie Baggins anyway.
Yes. Any movies, projects, Prodigy season 3, anything?
I mean, season 2 should be coming out. I think they're waiting to see how season 2 is received before they greenlight anything else.
It has to. Like,
I sure hope so. I mean,
I'm not like this is not me sucking up. It is some of the best sci-fi on TV right now.
I agree.
And people who haven't. Yeah.
It's some of the best Trek, honestly. Especially, I mean, I always tell people, I'm like, get to episode 6. If you don't like it after the Kobayashi Maru episode, then there's nothing here for you. If you can't, appreciate a good Kobayashi Maru with those cameos, I mean, come on.
That was the nods, the cameos, everything that they do it in just the right, like Jellicoe. Like I knew that, like I they don't announce it, or at least when I saw him, I'm like, hey, that's the original act. Oh my God. And they don't overplay it. They don't do it too much.
Yeah, they just,
but you don't have to know to enjoy him. Yeah.
Episode 13 was also one of my favorites. The Live Logs and Proper. Yeah. All the World's a Stage episode. Oh, it was so good.
So I want to use the word balls here. The balls to do that. Like, yes, this is what we're going to do, and you're going to get it, and we'll make it make sense at the end. But like the over the top Kirk, everything. Like
Yeah,
such a
live
great job.
logs and proper. You're like, what?
This is weird.
Yeah.
I loved it. I loved it. At first, I was like, "Are they really?" And then when they pulled it off and they did it with such style, I knew at that point, like, this show's
episode.
unstoppable. I don't.
Yeah, and then the time one where they're all in different times, where time is going differently for each one of them. That I think that's episode 5. Time Amok, or Amok Time. Time Amok.
Amok Time was the original, and this was Time Amok. Yeah,
this was Time Amok. That episode was so good. The Mind episode where Dal and Janeway switch places. I mean, honestly,
I wanted to ask about that. I know this is going to go long, but you did the scratch voice for Janeway.
I did. I didn't get to do it in that episode. No, I wish I got to do that episode.
I'm curious how that happened, because did she have to then watch how this person acts and then emulate them?
She would hear his voice.
Okay.
And then, I mean, she was watching the episodes, I'm sure. So she
nailed it, of course.
Kate's a pro. Like, she just picked up on the energy of his voice and implemented that. But yeah, she's brilliant. Yeah, I got to do the scratch voice for Janeway in the very beginning when we first started recording, and I was just like, I can't believe I'm doing this. I'm saying the lines as if I am Janeway. I am my own captain, and I'm so happy right now. And then I got to do the scratch for Gwen. I got to do some scratch for a lot of the characters. Actually, they just kind of threw me in the beginning.
That's trust. That's amazing.
So that way the animators had something to play with while they were, while everything was still being finalized for casting and stuff.
That's a huge amount of trust, I would think, that like they knew you would do it and do it right.
Absolutely. Oh. Yeah. Well, I mean,
listen, I want to thank you for being here. I don't want to take up more of your time. You've been more than generous. Hour and a half.
Of course.
Thank you so much, Bonnie.
Time goes by when you're chatting about fun things.
I could talk to you all night, and I would if you let me. So I'm not gonna. I'm gonna pull myself away. So thank you so much for being here. I had a blast meeting you. I can't wait to find a reason to invite you back whenever you want to come here. Whatever you want to do, this show is open to you. I would love to have you back whenever. But I'm sure I'll wait. I'll try to wait a year before bugging you again. You're everywhere and you're doing everything, and I don't want to stand in the way of that.
Nah, no pressure, no trouble at all. What else am I gonna do on a Thursday night? Well, I guess on that note, live logs and proper, and stay nerdy, everybody.